Hello, and welcome back to Tales of Vardin on To Be Diced. I am your host and GM, Chris, also known as Claybrute Studio. It's been a while, so thank you for joining us today as we return to this story that we're so excited to keep telling. Let's meet the rest of our cast and kind of get reintroduced to everyone before we kick right into it. Let's start right up here.
Hello, I am Simite. You can find me as Simite everywhere. And I play Emrys, our rogue sorcerer who is going through a lot right now. He's dealing with his family, a inherited bar from a friend, and the fresh death of another friend. On to you, sir.
Greetings and salutations. I am Daddy Tarzan 82855 on all social media platforms. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, so on and so forth, as a thirst trap content creator and cosplayer on occasion, and D&D content creator also on occasion. I play William, a raging asshole of a pirate and strategist of the group. On to you, KD. You mysterious motherfucker.
Hello, everybody. I'm Victor, also known as Victor the Story Weaver, and I currently play KD, a mysterious individual who apparently was the first benefactor of bringing the party together in the beginning of this storyline. Currently running things from the underground through secrecy and mischief, and pulled quite a one-man heist in the previous episode, which probably may have caused certain people to overreact and get a little,
Boy.
desperate to take action. So we'll see how that goes.
It's fine. We're fine. On to you, Tay Tay.
Oh, on to me? Okay. Hello, my name is Taylor, also known as Nerdy Pinup Girl on most social media platforms, mainly active on TikTok and Instagram. If you like cosplay, if you like D&D stuff, if you like special effects makeup, nerdy shit in general, or like nerdy thirst traps, you should totally give me a follow. Today I am playing the fabulous and wonderful Grendel Fialova, the over 7 foot tall half-orc barbarian who is on the endless journey to try and get her beautiful tiefling girlfriend Helene back from the BBEG, and she is going through a lot. She just released her mother from some sort of spell induced lobotomy, from what it looks like, and she is trying her best to keep her core values in hoping that she can still be as much as Grendel that Helene loved when she can find her by the end of this journey. So we will see how that goes for her.
And I am Matt, also known as Wartor Knight out there on the interwebs. And this evening, I have the wonderful, great pleasure of returning to one of my favorite characters of all time, Godi Mimirson, the Goliath, formerly wizard, respect into druid to attempt and fulfill his original mission, which is finding out exactly what is going on with Vardin and fix it the only way he knows how, by hitting that nail over the head with books until it's fixed.
Like I said before, we are very excited to continue this story as we continue forward. If you like what you see here on Thursdays, there are other shows throughout the week and different things that these lovely people put on for all of you viewers as well. Coming up, we have Star Wars on Tuesday, so we'll get kicked back into that campaign. Wednesday, there is no Valley of Endless War, so we'll pick back up with that at a later time. And big news, Frontiers of Eberron Season 2. If you were a big fan of Frontiers of Eberron with our GM Michael, he's back for Season 2 with that, and that is starting on the 1st of, June, 1st of June. So that is this Sunday. So it's coming right up. Lots of things coming up in the works with all of our stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. That's not next week. I am next week. I am in the future. Don't worry about me. This week. That's about how it's been. So we'll get through it. We'll make it. But for now, enjoy Tales of Vardin. A city sits as a beacon in the valley of Grancis. Grand Soren. The city sleeps beneath a sky bruised with deep purples and the last ember glow of a setting harvest moon. The crisp autumn wind snakes through the tiered stone rings of the capital, carrying the scent of damp leaves, iron-rich mist, and faint hints of roasted chestnuts from shuttered market stalls. A lone bell chimes from the clock spire of the Elden Ward, its sound cascading down the polished cobbles like a warning whispered too late. In the distance, the Arcanium looms, silent, save for the quiet hum of the barrier spells. As the camera pans down, a figure runs, whispering muttered words. It was not in vain. Victor. Hidden beneath the layers of silence and mixed direction, the artifact that you have taken pulses with a heat not its own. It is cold to the touch, yet the air around it warps with invisible tension, like the moment before lightning strikes. Behind you, no alarms, no magical sirens, no rising wings of the Arcanium sentinels. Not yet. The streets are quiet, as if the city itself is holding its breath. The cat darts across a moonlit ledge. A gutter pipe drips rhythmically. Somewhere in the higher tiers of the city, a crystal music box plays a lullaby, slightly off key. And then, a windless ripple passes through the cobblestones. Not enough to topple a lantern, but enough to make every candle in 100 windows flicker sideways. The stars overhead shiver. Somewhere deep beneath the city, in the caverns you just came from, something stirs. Where do each one of you find yourselves? I know Taylor, Godey, or not Taylor, I'm sorry, Grendel, Godey, and Emrys. You are at the tavern. Last we left off, I believe Grendel and Godey were having a conversation before resting. And Emrys was kind of taking scope of his new acquisition. Where would we like to pick up?
I would say the scene would probably pick up with William. After receiving the most recent message from Trevor, or threat from Trevor, being more exact, we would see William in the streets in the middle of the night, bloodied and drunk, making his way back to the tavern. It would be casual, but there is some urgency in his stride. But he's definitely staggering because he's drank enough, and Caliban has allowed him to experience the pleasures of living once again for a short period. So he's still immersed in that effect, and he's staggering his way back towards the tavern, muttering to himself. Just, to any passerby, you just hear the name Goaty. This bastard Goaty. Goaty, you motherfucker, what did you do? And as he draws closer to the tavern, it's not subtle, it's abrupt. He kicks. It's not that he breaks down the door. He just turns the knob, shoves it open, slams it into the threshold. Goaty, you motherfucker, where are you?
Is Grendel with Goaty currently?
I believe they were upstairs, yes.
Because I do believe that the message from KD was timed a little bit after the message from Trevor.
So before I react, did Goaty mention anything about sending the message to William before William barged?
Showed up.
We did not send a message to William, no. Goaty received a message from KD.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So did Goaty refer that message to Grendel before William decided to barge in?
I think where we left off was Goaty was taken right by surprise. Yeah.
It was right at the start of that.
Oh, and that's kind of where we,
that was where the cliffhanger stopped at. Was we both got those messages at the same time.
So while William is making his way across from his bar fight, I believe there would be some time in there for either Goaty to react or relocate or do whatever we need to in that particular area or scene.
I don't think that Goaty would have, in that moment, like shared with Grendel, hey, Katie went and got the Paragon piece. I think instead, knowing that this has been a heavy day, he would have centered himself, and then very calmly just like looked at her and just said, I'm going to see what I can do to help you, but for now, we are all tired. Get some rest.
I know. I understand. It just really stinks that I feel like we have to try and solve every problem in one night, but it just seems more problems keep piling up, and it's never fun. And she'll kind of settle into bed. She'll like pull up her blankets up to her, and she's just going to be like, I will make sure to get good rest. Good night, Goldie. And she will try to grab some sleep, considering that I did hit the long rest thing before the session ended. So I don't know when William is going to be charging it in at this point. If it's
this would be late hours for sure.
Late hours, okay.
Exiting Grendel's room, Goaty would probably have returned to his room, and instead of going right to bed, is starting to pore over notes, which is basically him mechanically going through to select spells, because he's going to know that we have to get the fuck out of Dodge. So he's trying to consider that before going to bed. And that would be sometime into that, probably when William barges in, and hearing William call him a motherfucker, Goaty is having the moment of like, Goaty's a very stoic and very logical, very straightforward individual. I was just accused of something, I don't know what, but I have not done anything that we haven't talked about already.
Mhm.
Ignore. So just write back to his notes, which means that if you are intent, you'll have to come to
Find him, yeah. Which is very much William's directive. So seeing him not in the main common area of the tavern, yeah, he starts making his way upstairs, trying to pinpoint where Godey is.
As you do, you come around the corner, and a sleepy-eyed Finn is walking the halls looking for the bathroom. As you pass him by, you find where Godey has propped himself up for the night to study.
Literally, probably at like a side table with a chair and a candle.
As soon as he locks eyes on Godey, he does pay a quick side eye to Finn, make sure he makes his way to wherever he's going before he turns his attention back to Godey.
Don't you swear at son or my son.
What the fuck did you do?
I thought we already had that conversation, or did you drink that memory away too?
Explain to me why. I just got a message from Trevor saying that you took the Paragon after we just lost 2 of our members. How does that happen? Is 2 not enough for you?
I failed to get the Paragon piece, which you very firmly explained earlier already. I have been in this tavern ever since. And with that, he looks up and says, would you like to know everything that happened then?
We don't have time. We need to leave. Trevor knows knows our position. We need to leave now.
If I may, most likely the follow through that would have happened after the message to Godey of the Paragon would have been as KD is making their evacuation plans because of the prized possession that they have now. They would have set certain things in motion. Those being attempting to facilitate some routes for the party, including a safe location, as well as reliable assistance from local participants, and also a very, very sneaky tabaxi that may or may not be in the vicinity at some point. So what Godey would have received after sometime later would have been a following sequence of images. And the imagery would basically be, you get an image of what seems to be like a very main regular street as like motion, as if you're walking. Then all of a sudden, as if you're walking, it's like you pan and suddenly you're disappearing into an alley. And then from that alley, you're like stepping backwards in the alley. You see a hand touching a wall. And as he touches the wall, it reaches a particular brick. And as he moves the brick, reaches for a hand, moves it. That actually ends up triggering something next to a couple of crates. There's a pathway. You see a pathway that leads downward. That pathway has also a closing mechanism underneath that then basically takes you to what seems to be old like water drainage location. But what this actually allows is it basically is leading you out to a different street in a completely different sector, where then it's a more crowded location, less more people, less wealth, therefore noisier. There's more life. It's even though it's dark and it's late, there's a lot of stuff going on. And there's a lead way that takes you through some of those streets, through tents of people that are working. You see the eyes of whoever's the POV that you're seeing, spotting the person that is in this particular tent that's like selling like meats, like just like cooked meats. And as they look at each other, they just have a moment of acknowledgement. And so you're able to go through past the table where the meats are being offered to the other side of the tent, and then get to an alleyway behind it that then leads you to another spot, to another alleyway where there's a window. And then that window that seems to be barred actually has a real hidden window next to it that it's actually opening up to a location that, once inside, looks to be it. The eyes sort of scan through areas, and you're able to see glyphs that are marked throughout the space, that you can sense in the message that this is a location that is protected from scrying, spell, magic, any of those things. And in that location also, there's a barn door on the ground under a rug. And that's like the last of the images that you get, with the sense of, if you need to, this is where you need to go. And there's no need to show you what's after that barn door, because you will know what to do if you get to the barn door.
I'm just going to very simply say, keen mind. Cody knows all that.
That's counting.
Absolutely.
So, my question, really quick, just because I know that this establishment that we're currently in came from Millie, and Millie was a crafty son of a bitch. Are there protections upon this inn, tavern?
I believe he said there were.
There are, yes. What are you looking for?
I'm wondering if, because what William said was that Trevor knows we're here and that he's coming. Even if it would take a quick casting of Detect Magic to kind of like see what's around, so that Gody could figure out like the kind of defenses that we're looking at, so that he can try to reason if A, he even believes that somebody could find us here, B, if somebody could find us here, what scale of power that means for them.
And you're casting Detect Magic to do this, correct?
Sure.
Okay. There are protection spells around, mostly
Fireballs.
the entryways of things, and kind of a permeating essence through the whole tavern of an anti-undead situation.
It's the undead. Okay.
So,
whoa.
yeah.
How's William feeling right now?
Good.
William not like staying here?
There's a little discomfort.
That's probably why he's so agitated.
Is that why? Okay.
Aside
nothing
from,
against scrying though, or anything like that.
Aside from that, there is a faint anti-scry situation going on.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll go after you.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay.
I think William would make it very abundantly clear that we are a group of outsiders that have been seen traversing in and out of this place at this point in time, which is not something hard for Trevor to try and isolate and act upon.
Under the cover of night, we all entered this place, and only William has exited.
Well, we've gone into this place during the day too.
Oh, I thought you meant recently. Okay.
Throughout this entire time we've been in Grand Swan, we've entered in and out of this place during the day.
Right.
As of recently, yes. But so yeah, William. There would be this argument of he's very much accusatory of you. He thinks he's very much conflicted with whether or not he can trust you anymore because of the most recent events. But he points out that the most pressing matter is we have to get out of here now because we have been seen coming in and out of this place for the past day or two. It is no longer safe. Emeris's family is in danger. Actually, all right, we'll go into character for this.
Yes.
We've been seen coming in and out of this place for days on end now. Emeris's family is in here. We already lost Millie. We lost Xenia. We can't afford to lose anybody else. We need to leave now, and we need to get everybody out of here. The longer we prolong our presence here, the more likely we will lose more. So, can I trust you with this task to get the rest of this group in fucking line and out the fucking door while I make sure that no one surprises us on the outside?
And whilst I am gathering us like sheep to the slaughter, and you are making sure we are not followed, as you are drunk and concussed, more than likely.
You definitely smell. William is radiating alcohol right now. He is inebriated beyond belief.
I have a passive perception of 19 and a passive insight of the same score.
He's hammered. But
so literally, Godi is pointing out, like, you are in no condition to do shit, and he's going to follow up that statement with, while you are trying to make sure nobody is following us, what is the next step of your plan, Captain? Where do we go? What do we do when we get there?
We either butchery and go back to the ship, or we get out of the city. I don't know, but we need to move. We can't stay here.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps you would like a better option from the two people in this group who actually plan things and don't get drunk, aggravated, and run off the rails. Speaking of trust.
He's so wounded in this moment. 100%. Wounded.
The long years are burning.
This is one of the few times where he has not been able to come up with some type of tertiary plan, and that fact is pointed out to him by somebody who he's considered a threat at this point. It just makes him all that much more angrier.
What's funnier is that above table, you're saying, I don't have a tertiary plan. Godi doesn't think you have a primary plan.
Right? At all. In this moment, absolutely not.
Shots fucking fired!
Don't get here.
No, William's he hasn't thought beyond the fact that he just lost Xenia. That's the only, like, that thought is very much prevalent in your perspective, William. He's still solidly stuck on Xenia right now, and he just can't see past it, and he's trying to maintain that. He's trying to maintain a presence of command, but you know him. You know how you've seen how he gravitates towards Xenia, and that Xenia kind of acted like his anchor in his morality. And now that he doesn't have Xenia anymore, he's lost, and he's conflicted about relying on you since you abandoned him in a sense.
Seeing sort of this played out on William's face, Godi is going to stand. And Godi normally hunches, and when he's hunched, he's like 6'2". Godi straightens to 6'6", just to look down at William as much as he can. I know that it hurts. It should be plain to you that you aren't the only one hurting. I've admitted my failures tonight. And when you are ready to admit yours and stop drinking and fighting them away, Godi slides a carafe of water in your direction. Then maybe our captain can lead us to KD's safe house. As we will also need to use that time to protect the once again acquired piece of the Paragon.
He kind of recoils. This is probably the most defensive you ever seen him. And he just he eyes the carafe of water that you push in his direction, and just kind of silently gives you a nod of acknowledgement.
After just being probably as intimidating that he's been since Greenport, Godi gently puts one hand on your shoulder. No one is more sorry about what happened to Xenia than I am. And if there was any way that I possibly could, and this is the point where I'm going to ask, where on William is Rico?
Probably in his breast pocket, inside.
Can we narratively say that he peeks out?
It's not my creature, so
that sort of grabs his attention, turning to this small chipmunk-esque creature, and Godi stops mid-sentence. And then you hear some sounds from Godi as he casts Speak with Animals and tells Rico, I need your help. And he puts his hand out towards William's chest.
this ain't my creature, so I can't stop it. So
You reach your hand out. Small, whiskered nostrils poke out between the folds of clothes that William has. I remember you. What do you need my help with?
I'll explain on the way. We don't have much time tonight.
He gives a few knowing squeaks before he hops out and scurries up and tucks into whatever small safe spot on Godi he can
Probably
find.
down to a belt pouch or something like that. Because notoriously, unless it's a formal event, Godi is shirtless.
there's a level of hurt on William's face for sure when Rico runs off.
Even with everything that you have going on, William, there is a familiarity in this moment of not necessarily what Godi is doing, like descriptively, but the general vibe. Godi has a plan. And he just immediately goes and starts gathering his things and says, quietly, wake Emerus and his family. I will get Grendel and hers.
As
Yeah.
you're doing this, Godi, what magical items do you have on you, if any?
The Braidstone gauntlets, a +1 breastplate, Horatio's boots, a enduring spellbook, a handful of potions of healing, a pearl of power, an earring of whisper.
As Rico's little paws kind of scale down at each location, as he passes over the bracers, he gives them an eye. And since you can't speak with animals, you hear, rather than little chirps and squeaks, an acknowledgement of the rarity of that particular magical item. Just kind of in passing. Oh, what rarity are those? Are these uncommon,
rare? I believe Horatio's boots are uncommon.
Yeah. So he'd just be saying those.
For a couple of them.
That's interesting. Uncommon. It's just like acknowledging little, like quickly. Oh, that's pretty rare. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Yes. Just taking note of everything that's kind of on you very quickly as he kind of goes down into the pouch. If there's a couple like little things in the pouch, oh, that's nice.
Is he commenting descriptively or just like in passing nice? I'm wondering if all of a sudden Rico has the capability of identifying magic items.
Rico has the ability to identify the rarity of a magical item.
Oh, okay.
As well as recall any magical items that have previously come into contact with him, as far as him actually putting them in his mouth. So if he's put a ring of spell storing in his mouth, oh, that's a ring of spell storing. Like it's cataloged. So he's very, very calculative in his ways. Victor or Katie, as you make your preparations and you send those images to Godi, sigils around the city alight. A minor illusion plays, in an official capacity, citywide. The transmission begins to play with the faces of the party with a warning that enemies of the crown are at large. Please return to your homes. Anyone found harboring these criminals will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. For your safety, and keep to your homes. The Magisterium takes your safety as highest priority and will dispatch these criminals as soon as possible. If you see them, tell someone, please help us capture. And it plays a few more times with these faces of William, Godi, Grendel, Emerus, and whatever face Katie chose.
I would say that once that occurs, the immediate thing is the first moment that the image is happening, Godi will be receiving the image as well. And after that, that's when basically, because the way that KD works and his network works is that nothing is fully direct, because sometimes people who are working for his particular network don't even know that they're working for the network, because everything is done very meticulously and calculatively. KD would basically reach out to Thaddeus to let them know of the level of security and safety measures that may need. So Thaddeus would then in turn reach out to another contact that then would reach out to another contact that then will be able to contact the people within the city to start putting certain things in motion. One of the other people that Thaddeus also has connections to, because Thaddeus was present when KD and they were introduced, was Luna. And so Thaddeus, in a way, would be the individual from KD's network who would be the point of contact with Luna. But Thaddeus would also proceed to do the necessary arrangements to have certain wagons with crates and covered backpacks to start circling through the town. And actually, some of them under the guise of searching for the party. So there will be both like working, traveling merchant crates that are probably taking an early rise so they can get a head start to get to the next town or next village, as well as other individuals that will start moving around asking for the party that actually happen to be people that are with KD's network. And one of those particular carriages or wagons will make its way to start circling around the bar where the party is, so that if they actually exit, whichever location they exit, there will be a wagon that they
something
can get
there
into.
to get in.
There's something there to get in, so they don't have to walk the street.
Okay. Did we at some point create your faction on paper with skills and stats?
I don't think so. I think we kind of like been
kind of
like
building
kind
a
of
little
like
bit at a
yeah,
time.
we kind of build. We
love it.
have certain members of the party that we know exist. I don't know that we've given them stats.
Yeah.
But we also have established that there are people who kind of indirectly work for the network who don't necessarily know specifically the network itself, what they actually fully do, or even who are the people leading it. They just know that it's something that has benefited their group, their city, their community, and they sort of know that they may get called from time to time.
Gotcha.
To do assistance.
This being kind of the hub of Grancis, of this particular continent, with the sovereign making their home here, and the court meeting in the city of Grand Soren. It's been around a long time. Your organization has also delved deep into the political scene, the Merchants Guild, the Fighters Guild, any connection possible over the last few years. I need you to give me a d20 roll, and we'll say we'll add a +6 to that roll.
That is a 24.
Okay. Perfect. Godi, as you begin to move around the tower and collect the things that you need, waking Emerus as well, I need you to make me a perception check, please.
Absolutely. I was waking Grendel. I tasked William with getting Emerson family.
Okay.
Perception check. Oh yeah, +9.
What is going on? Are we doing things now? Okay, I get up.
So I have a +9. That brings my total to a 10.
Okay.
Lena, so we wake up. Grab Finn.
I'm gonna guess that fails whatever you were trying to show me.
For now.
Okay. So that being said, hearing Grendel wake up, just go, I'm sorry. I know that I told you to rest, but apparently there are people looking for us, and we have to move away from the tavern.
Grendel immediately, knowing how dire the situation's been recently, that fighter instinct just kind of kicks in, and she immediately just kind of sits up. She goes, no, it's okay. Early rise in the, what is it that people say? I don't
Right.
know. We get worms. I know that.
We do get worms, and I'm going to need you to get your parents and the rest of your family up and ready to move. And probably, I'm going to guess this is where he gets sort of vision of the wagon and just goes like, we will have to rendezvous. We have to be quick and we have to be quiet.
We have to be quick and we have to be quiet. Okay, I will make sure to let my parents know that. And immediately Grendel gets up. She gets dressed in one of her kind of short little battle dresses that she's now, like, due to the fact that she's ripped all of her actual dresses to where it's just much easier for her to move. She gets dressed and she immediately goes to where her parents are, and she goes, and she'll first knock on the door, and if they don't answer, she will walk in. But she'll be like, Mama, Papa, we need to get going. We have to get out of this town. It's not safe for us here.
Emirus, get your family up and ready. We've been compromised. It's time to go.
Right.
You would also smell the outrageous amount of alcohol that William is exuding right now.
He doesn't comment on it. Just it's sitting at the back of his mind.
As you all gather your things and the people that you need, you wait. You wait for the right moment. A cart pulled by a four-hooved mammal, resembling a horse, but with horns like a bull, makes their way through the cobblestone streets. On either side of it, 2 Elden wards. Driving it, another guard. As you sit and wait, once again for the time, for just the right spot, you see why it is so important. Around the same time that the message played through the city, sigils on each one of the lampposts in the city ignited. And throughout the city are small glass spheres that float, roughly the size of a fist, filled with a cloudy liquid that swirls, patrolling. Same as the increased number of guards that now walk the city. Luna, where do you find yourself at this time?
Hey gang. Luna at this time, following the event from which we left off, would be inside one of the unassuming tea houses that would line the entertainment district. Private room, the matron sits, and at both side, first appears to be no one, and then in the sudden flash is Luna on one knee, head bowed respectfully. just waiting for acknowledgement before speaking. Did you find out what we came for, matron?
There was a premature ending to our meeting, but I think we have enough. The Magisterium grows bold, much more than before. They sit too comfortably in their power. It will be their downfall.
Is that comfort something we wish to overturn or nurture?
That still remains to be seen. Stride is hiding something. He was rather upset this evening. He said no words to tell this, but there was something in his spine that almost snapped.
You see the tip of Luna's tail sort of like flick. I wonder what that would have been. She need not wonder. She knows full well. Would the beacons of these wanted faces essentially have played out already at this time?
Yeah, you would have been either in an alleyway or a rooftop or something, having seen those played.
These enemies of the crown, I believe it would be in our best interest to assist them in eluding their captors for a while longer yet.
She kind of tilts her head in curiosity. And this is something that our resources need to go to, you are sure?
For the sake of securing allies, and the flow of power of which we can keep an eye on, I believe so. Nothing too much, nothing noticeable, but with your permission, matron, mother, I would be so inclined to show them some of the ways in which we traverse this land unnoticed.
Then may the shadows go with them.
Is there anything else you would ask of me?
That is one thing. Only that you keep yourself safe.
Matron, are you growing soft in your age?
I merely only realize that my time here is finite, and someone must take my place.
Yeah. I doubt you have much to fear in that regard. We will be safe. I understand now that there is value in having others watch your back. Sometimes, on occasion, under very strict circumstances.
And thus we are the myriad, strength in many.
Strength of many. Go well, mother. Moonlight guide you. Following that conversation, she will see whereabouts the party might have been laying low. I suspect she would have seen them gone down the way towards the tavern, though she has not actually entered the premises herself at this stage.
At this point, after meeting with the matron, you would most likely rendezvous after the sequence of events has begun, with Katie relaying messages to Godi and Thaddeus. The next steps after Thaddeus is called in, made contact initially with you, would be the next place you would most likely go, where Thaddeus would give you the information you need as to the whereabouts of the party and the next steps as the clock strikes the next hour at the exact interval on the exact street. Everything you need to meet them. Thaddeus will be taking over one of the other carts and gives you a look on a particular map of where these carts would intersect for the transition, and makes it abundantly clear: if you miss this one, there is no turning back. That is it. They must be there, on time, and unseen. Can you do this?
It will be done. Now is not the time for amateur mistakes. They've endured well enough to understand the consequences of what should occur should things not go according to plan. Exactly to plan.
It amazes me, the capability of our benefactor to choose the right people for the right job. He's never missed once.
Well, don't say that now. Perhaps he might the next one.
I've had my doubts more than once. But there is something about knowing people. Anyway, we'll see you there.
We'll see you. You be safe too, if you intend to linger here a while longer yet.
Oh, that I wish I could. As you part ways, go ahead and make me a navigation check through the city with the increased guards. Probably be... You can do stealth or survival.
I will do stealth. Let me double check what I have advantage and stealth on. It's been a hot minute. Why do I have advantage? Is it my clerk? I think it's my clerk. Ah, yes. Is it dim light or darkness at this time if it's quite late hour?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's around 10:30 or so.
That's in that 24:33.
Come on. You may be wherever you wish to be in the city when the time comes.
No one pays attention to the strays skulking around at night.
You mesh flawlessly into the city as people are making their ways to their homes, businesses shutting down as quickly as they can, making sure their patrons are able to get to their places safely. If not, then they will board them, kind of going into almost an emergency state as far as the city is concerned. Just out of precaution. As I said, increased guards. I need you to make me a perception check real quick.
That is an 18.
18. Amongst the common Elden Ward of the city. There are a few suits of armor that mark individuals as leaders. There are others yet that identify them as operatives. Being integrated into the city, having been here multiple times, the Myriad's Council of Nine being here, you know the city has certain individuals, highly trained and very specific. This group is called the Silent Covenant. You see two of them. One of them you don't really recognize, a broad-shouldered half-elf. The other you spot as you pass an opening down an alley. A familiar bone structure to a member of the party. Although not sickly, still the same pale, sort of half-orc. You wouldn't know their name, only the familiarity of the face. It gives you pause for a moment, because you saw someone very similar going into Trevor Malfort's, but not coming out. You make your way through the rest of the city and arrive at the rendezvous. The rest of you, you've gathered your things. The time is coming. The clock ticks down. The cart moves in between a few buildings in a blind spot of these lanterns. The time has come. The time is now. Make your
Before
move.
we make
Go ahead.
this move to the cart, Emrys sees these like sensors, and just to check something, he wants to. He kind of shapes water into like a bubble, and watches as a sensor goes over it.
What level is shape water?
It's a cantrip. I
Cantrip?
can do it out
Could I
30 feet.
could I encourage you to not?
Hmm?
Could I encourage you to not?
You could, if Emrys doesn't know what these things are. He's just doing science to figure out if magic not good.
Actually, you know what? Because of what I have planned, if that is the experiment, I'm going to let that happen.
He's doing this other side of the street, as far away from them as they can.
So you're wanting to shape water into something?
Just a tiny bubble, and
Just a
he's
small
gonna watch
bubble?
it. If it goes flat, he knows, oh, that's anti-magic. That's not good.
Gotcha. Okay. You shape this bubble, and as it's moving, you see on one side of it, it has a forward face to it. The rest of it kind of swirls and mists, and in the middle of the other side is a small, almost reflective light inside of it, surrounded by a dark circle. And as it moves around in a very determined pattern, moving back and forth. You put your bubble there, and it comes in contact with it. It begins to move up and down.
As soon as I see it started to react to magic in the beast, I drop it.
As it comes in contact with it, it kind of begins to become more erratic in looking in different directions, trying to focus on something. As you drop it, it takes about a minute or two before it kind of makes sure that everything is back to normal before it continues back into its determined path.
Yeah.
We need to go now.
I'm feeling that.
I will say at this time, Grundle is she's been, after being woken up by Dodie, she is up and she goes to check on her parents, immediately just being like, so we need to get up, we need to go. There is a lot that is going on right now, but we need to leave the city now. And I know you guys have built a lot here, but we might need to build things somewhere else with how things are going at the moment.
So this is your father now.
Her father and mother that she is waking up.
Mm-hmm.
And if her brother is there as well, her brother too.
Mm-hmm. Your brother is waiting elsewhere.
All right. If she can't find her brother, she will kind of like panic for a moment. But the first thing is getting her mother and father on this cart. So she will go to wake them up. So that will probably be the first thing.
Yeah. Perfect. They wake up, agree with you that if you think it's time to go, then we should probably go. As your mother wakes up, her words seem jumbled. As she begins to talk, you know she's trying to say something. But the beginning of her words have the right letter, but the rest of the word is incorrect.
So
like if she were to pick up, if she were to try to say pillow, she would say pet, or just different things, and she becomes increasingly frustrated trying to communicate. She's dealing with aphasia. So things have caught up. The magic has done what it needed to. It's restored things, but there are still things and it's temporary. After about an hour of this or so, it would go away. But this is something she's going to have to deal with for a little bit, of that trying to communicate. And that's just happening right now. She's awake. A lot's going on. Things are moving. It's kind of triggered something in her brain. And that's just kind of where that's at.
Okay. So, what would her first response be as Grendel goes to wake her up? Because Grendel would probably go over and she would just very gently nudge her father and her mother and be like, "Mama, Papa, I know that we have a lot going on, but we kind of need to get out of here. There apparently like there's a lot going on, and I would like to avoid fighting as much as possible. If we can just leave and avoid that would be very nice." So what would like Grendel's mother's first reaction be?
She would say oak bush. Oak bush instead of like okay, let's just oak bush.
Can I make an insight check to see if Grendel can understand that this is because of the magic, or if her mother is trying to tell her to look for an oak bush?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
That is
Her next-
16. Sorry. Go ahead. I'll type the total in.
Her next words would be to your dad. It'd be like you'd see her kind of pause and try to really think about the words before she says, "Pallet umbrella, just pack up, start, So those are the types of things I'm gonna have a really hard time trying to play someone with aphasia, but that's kind of the gist of it. Lots of pauses, lots of miscommunicated words, and she might string a few together before she misplaces another one. But you almost know the meaning of it because of the context that you're in.
I will say the first thing that Grendel does when she wakes up her mother is despite what she is saying, Grendel is making sure that she has breakfast, she has food, that she's eaten, and that she is dressed and ready for what she was told that they need to do. And so, and also Grendel has been very used to seeing her mother in almost a comatose state, and with her being delirious, Grendel is just like, I don't quite understand what you're talking about, but I'm going to make sure that you are well taken care of, and so I'm going to make sure that you are nice and clean, and that we have fresh clothes for you, and it is going to be everything that you ever want. And we're going to go to a new place that we can start a new life, and hopefully you and Papa can be able to live out your lives the way that you want to. And she is just trying to keep, as Grendel always does, is just trying to keep a positive side of things. And even though she doesn't quite understand what her mother is saying, she is just more trying to make sure she is well taken care of and ready for the journey ahead. That is her biggest concern, because she's used to her mother being a little bit out of it. And so I would say Grendel, she kind of takes it, and she would be obviously be confused at first, but she would just would be concerned about making sure that her family is ready to go on this long journey. And especially with Godi saying, make sure everybody is set, ready, and to fucking go, because we got to get out of here. And that is Grendel's main concern at this point, is to make sure that her family is put in a safe space, and she knows that they are not safe here.
They were pretty much ready to leave town when you guys arrived, so they don't have much to get going. However, a lot of their larger belongings, a lot of maybe the furniture or maybe their own cart, is going to have to stay behind because of that. However, your mother, despite her language barrier that is currently happening, she does dig through some of the larger suitcases and pull out a small file and tucks it into what they are taking with them. Her notes on what she was able to deduce before everything happened to her.
I'm not going to try and make any sort of roll for that, because I know Grendel can't really read very well, so she would not be able to comprehend what kind of file her mother just put in there. But she will clock the fact that her mother is taking, what her mother is taking is obviously important. And that is something that Grendel, even though she can't knowledgeably comprehend that this is information that is needed, for her, it is my mom is taking this because this is important. So I need to remember that. So that is something I'm going to put in her little back noggin, if that makes sense.
Perfect. Godi, while Katie is sending you the images of the minor illusion sigils playing around the city, is detect magic up at this point as well? Still,
yeah, I wouldn't have to put anything else up in the meantime.
Okay.
So,
as that message ends, you would see abjuration out of the windows of the tavern as you move around. It's this small misty haze that kind of encompasses the streets.
could
I'd say
I potentially make an Arcana check to try and identify what type of abjuration magic is being used?
Absolutely.
I will guidance myself, which does end concentration on detect magic, but okay, so +9, so that's a 24.
24. This is a miasma. As it permeates the streets, it becomes brighter, and only you see this because of the detect magic that's up. It becomes brighter around sources of magic.
Oh shit.
And you see out the window, the Magisterium's Arcanium is a large crystalline tower, and out of the top of it is just pouring this magical mist that trickles down around the city itself.
Yep, got it.
This is a counterspell blanket. Anything first level and up will trigger this.
Oh boy.
1, giving location because of the immediate rush of magic to this point to put basically a flame out.
Snuffs to the magic, yeah.
And I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh shit. I'm in trouble.
Oh, but also as a deterrent, for like teleportation, sort of things like that, like trying to get out of the city. There's just this dampening effect that has begun to go through the streets. William, Emerus, anything?
I would say as the group is getting ready to depart, William would approach Emrys. Again, still a little bit drunkish, but he seems a little more focused at this point. Emrys, you and I have the best eyes out of this entire group, aside from Xenia. If you see anything, call it out. I'll do what I can.
We can't use magic at all.
Going back to the miasma real quick, did it react when I cast guidance?
Is guidance a leveled spell?
No, it's not. Fuck. Detect magic.
Detect magic would be correct.
But it was already
Is that a
cast
ritual?
when this. I did
Yes,
cast it.
it was.
In the moment that I cast it, I used a spell slot to do it because I wanted it up.
But it was before
this
that
arrived.
started. Yeah, so it's still up.
It didn't react to Godi though.
Hadn't reached you yet.
Is the miasma of counterspell coming inside? I think
It is
what
not
asking.
inside the house. No, it is not inside this particular tavern. You can assume that this is due to some of the protections that Millie has put in place.
Good job, Millie. Fuck. But yeah, he would continue. No magic to worry about. But if we need to, if a distraction needs to be made to get the rest of the group out of here.
No.
Stop trying to throw yourself on the pyre. Just fucking come with us. Yeah?
Sure. This is just in case.
We get it. All right. All of us are fucked up right now, but sacrifice is not the play for any of us. We can all make it out of here alive if we work together.
Cody, what do your giant eyes see?
A mist that will make our escape more difficult, as it appears that I cannot use the magic that I was going to use to cover our escape.
So
Actually, we didn't sleep all night.
Mm-hmm.
Grundle
fuck!
slept.
It wouldn't be for everybody, so that doesn't work. Because I was going to say technically we all still have Cloud Walk. But
so William would. He hasn't slept yet.
yeah, but Emers's family and Grendel's family would not.
Mm.
Emrys can make us all invisible if it doesn't counter.
Well, I was going to say, hey,
After
Cloud
the
Walk
fact.
might work because maybe we could fly over this shit if this is clinging to the ground. But that's not going to help half the people we're traveling with, your wife and son included.
We're gonna have to do it by contemporary means, my friends.
Cody doesn't do anything by contemporary means.
This is why I don't trust only in magic.
What is that like?
It's far more convenient when things like this happen.
Oh. I think a surface level disguise would suffice for the time being.
Disguise kit?
Fuck.
At this point, Grendel is coming back from her parents, and she goes, "Oh, what kind of disguises are we going to be doing?"
I knew it. Oh, fuck.
Our faces
Grendel and
are
her
all over
family.
the city. This
We need
is
to
not
make
the
you into
moment.
tall humans. So I've got some.
Make you into tall humans. Yeah, if we can do that quickly before the carriages arrive, then I actually support this idea.
Okay.
Because
Was the picture of William's face shown to him that's being projected across the city?
no.
No. Okay.
But Gaudy
Also-
would have told you that KD saw all of our faces
I mean,
projected.
All of the
this.
noses were slightly off.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is like when it comes to the wanted posters, do they actually know what they look like, or is it just based on general?
The only people that know there are wanted posters out are KD, Luna that saw them, and then Godi because it was relayed to him at this current time, anyways. And I believe Godi had just mentioned that your faces had been shown across the city.
So yeah, I say let's throw up some disguises and let's get the fuck out of Dodge.
Okay.
What kind of disguise could I wear?
So with disguises, the trick is less is more. So I think we change your skin, we cover your ears with your hair, and should we change Grendel's hair color?
I have an idea on how to get us out of the city if we need it.
The sewers?
My wife.
What?
The pretty lady that you got the flowers for and everything?
She's currently married to one of the members of the Midnight Court.
You're a member of the Midnight Court.
Yes.
You.
I turned them down. That's why they exiled me. They offered me a chance to be a part of their brotherhood, and I said no. In my defiance, they exiled me and took everything from me. And that's why I became a pirate in the first place.
You said your wife is married to a member.
Apparently, yes. Who I
Even
thought
though
was
she's
my best
married
friend.
To one of them, she's a really nice lady. I'll tell you that.
She could help us get out of the city.
How long has it been since you've talked to her?
Not long. She knows I'm alive.
I trust you, right? Most of the time, I trust your judgment.
I wouldn't recommend this course of action needlessly. But we have a lot of people that we need to care for, aside from my own family. She's the best shot to get us out of here. Aside, as a secondary or tertiary plan. Whatever plans we already have in place, we need to have backup plans. I'm not willing to make this a primary plan, but I am willing to make it a backup plan.
Whatever the plan for who we get to help us out of the city, I would say we go out the city to the east.
That was my
hit
plan
a forest, and then we go and we turn around about south and head south.
The reason why I suggest this is Morgan will be the least likely to be observed by the city, as she is a protected member of the Midnight Court. But relying on her will put her in jeopardy.
They already know your face.
I know.
How are you going to get a message out?
Well, I did get to meet her one time. Maybe I could do something to help.
As a potential last resort plan, fine, but if your goal is to protect your family, William, going to them now is not a smart idea.
I know. That's
She is
why
a
I'm
very-
offering it. That's why I'm offering it as a backup plan. I am.
DM.
Get to the carriages.
So wait, we are in Grand Soaring, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Is
This
Grand-
tavern.
Is
Sorry.
Grand Soarin where Ivara is?
Fucking what? What did you just fucking say?
Yeah.
Ivara runs the fucking Mistric district in Grand Soarin. Did you not get that?
The mother of your other bastard child.
No.
Well, that's spicy.
And again, I can't mention anything as Grendel because Grendel has no idea, but as someone who created this kind of creative NPC,
I feel like
yeah.
that thought would pop into William's head for like a millisecond and then go, mm-mm.
No.
It's like weighing his options like, no, I'd rather walk into the magisterium.
However it works. She does have connections and she does work in the underground.
Serious point of contention. What is the current state of his daughter? Is she mobile? Is she on her own? Is she still in the fucking tavern?
She's not here.
Oh, fucking thank God.
above table extracurricular knowledge. She is staying with her mother.
Oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not also that's terrifying, but
Emrys.
And sorry, I wasn't trying to metagame. I just remembered that situation.
So
heart palpitations.
Millie owned this tavern, which means 100% it connects to the sewers in some way, shape, or form.
It does connect out, yes, in some form or fashion.
Would Millie have left Thieves' Camp down in the sewers, leading to an exit to the city to the east?
There would be 2 exits. There's one in the north that leads across the entire city. It's the longest route out of here. But if that's the direction you need to end up on, then that's the one you take.
It's also risky as shit.
The other one goes towards the sea, towards the west. Now it's probably a good days and a half travel to the nearest port, if not more. But
Underground, yeah.
it would lead out towards the river, and there would be a small boat, a little dinghy, to float downriver as a quick cut and slip away.
Do we want to take the sewers? Or do we want to chance?
Sewers, we run the risk of being entrapped down there in a closed space. There will be times that we will be afforded a 4-directional movement, but above ground we'll have more than 2 ways to be able to escape.
There's also more than 1,000 ways to be seen above ground.
This is true, however, there is currently a plan in limited communication, and we should not deviate side-eye at William from a plan.
Sorry,
William's trying to
There's
stay
already
on
a plan.
plan.
There is a plan.
I've heard nothing of a plan. So
I
what's
thought
the plan?
during the space between the talking and the stuff
Yeah.
that behind the scenes, as it were, possibly this would have happened.
Okay.
I also
William would communicated Cody had a plan.
Oh, whoa. Fantastic.
Sheepishly, mind you. Sheepishly, he would have told you.
Godey's plan is Katie has a plan.
Emrys still very much trusts the sewers above traveling above ground because thief. But
Although,
we'll go with
Plan.
Yeah.
Plan. Plan. Plan.
yeah, but
Tarzan,
having
Tarzan. Jingle, jingle.
Buskies? Buskies?
I'm of the mind if there's 2 parties going in 2 different directions, then no one's ever getting caught at the same time.
Hey, you want to bring that up to William, or you want to bring that up to Godey, as you literally deviated, creating 2 parties, and nobody all got caught together, but 2 people died.
Yeah.
for y'all to tell her what to do.
No. William is definitely still on the benches right now. He's not willing to call shots right now.
Emrys completely trusts in the plan of this person he met for only 4 seconds yesterday.
Yes, that's how we do it.
Grendel is the definition of fuck it, we ball.
All right.
While the party decides what
No, we've
direction
decided there's a plan.
you've decided, very well. Then we will find out what the plan is right after break. Go rehydrate. and
Yeah,
we'll be
buddy.
back in just a moment. More Tales of Vardin.
I love this fucking group.
Planning.
Miss.
Welcome back. I hope you had a good break and refilled your tankards with whatever liquid you deem necessary for what is to come. Now, as the party discusses alternative plans, and Godi tries his best to say there is a plan and it's about time, things are getting into position. Godi out the side of the tavern opposite of where the cart is supposed to be, you see this patrol coming down. Luna, you have, without any sort of detection, it could be just for fun. Let's everybody roll a perception check, please.
Like everyone?
Yeah.
Oh, joy.
That would be
It's
a
9
29.
minus 2 for 7.
7, 19. Go to, you said 29?
29.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
You would see a tabaxi. Are you familiar with Luna? You
Yes.
are, right? Yes. Okay. You would see a familiar tabaxi stroll around the corner, and you could almost feel the eye roll before it happens, before they sit down and continue to quietly listen to the rest of the party as they discuss alternative plans.
Matt, in this moment, would shrug in her direction, but Cody is not that kind of person. Just kind of looks at the timing and just says, all right, it is now or never. And going to nod to William and say, you lead everyone. I will make sure nobody's left behind.
Well, this has been a riveting debate, truly. You're all overcomplicating things far too much. And in your general direction, you will find Luna throws several items of clothing. There is a woolen hat, there is a woven scarf, there is a cloak. If you put these on, you will appear as any other in the street.
Very
hello,
much.
Miss Kitty Cat. How are you?
Grendel, your voice.
And,
Hello, Miss Kitty
your
Cat.
families are not known. They're
Very
not projected.
much. A huge level of disdain as Luna makes her presence known. From
Emerus is
William.
in the middle of giving Grendel and her father caucus face, turning them into white people, and he's like, "Can I still finish?"
Yes.
Put these on, appear differently, take different routes, but walk with your families if it suits you. You would not believe how much you would get away with if simply you act normal and go to where you need to be.
Act like you belong. She's
The only
Sorry, who's
conspicuous
this?
thing is your faces. Precisely, he understands. One of you does, I am glad.
Grendel goes and picks up the scarf that Luna had thrown out, and she goes, "Oh, I remember when I used to I had to wear William like this when he passed out." And she then flips the scarf over her shoulder.
What the fuck do you mean you wore me?
Oh, that one time where Toro had your ladies, and I had to.
People, I'm sorry,
over my
we have a
shoulder
very
because
limited
you were
window.
passed out.
That's a conversation
Where
for another
is the
time.
cart? Where is the carriage?
Mechanically, these are hats of disguises. I do want those back.
Does that trigger the miasma?
That would trigger the thing. Yes.
No, because it's a cantrip.
No, disguise
No.
self is a first
No.
level spell.
Disguise self is a
In here,
spell.
that you are casting.
You're
In
muted,
here.
Omi. Chris, you're muted.
Yep. Thank you.
Wait, so
They
sorry,
they
go ahead.
are magical items, and as Godi saw, the miasma tends to become slightly brighter in those areas. However, it will go from disadvantage to a straight roll.
Ooh.
For what exactly?
Stealth.
For stealth, getting from the door to the cart.
Why else? Why? Well, what is the source of disadvantage that we have?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
I would. That's why I asked specifically.
The entire city is on edge and looking for individuals.
That's we're not
That's
four
fair.
individuals.
That's
we're like
A whole group.
Yeah.
Group. We're a cover band.
Might I ask what happens when Grendel grabbed the scarf and like just flung it on? Like, does anything happen, or is it just a scarf?
How does those work? You have to think about what you want to look like, or is there
Imagine yourself as another person, Grendel. Because you need to activate it. You can cast it at will as per Head of Disguise. You can cast the Disguise Self spell at will, which Grendel hasn't done. She just put the item.
I heard the word cast though.
That's what I'm concerned about. Is that like Grendel, like due to her shield, she like I don't know, like
From the sound, so from the sounds of it, it sounds like this miasma is drawn to any type of magic. So even if we do cast it inside him, if we step outside with this magic active, there's a chance that it could be drawn to it.
But what we're doing here is negating your stealth.
Right.
Disadvantage with the stealth, which is what you need to do anyways
Right.
to get to where you go.
So that's why I'm wondering.
So either
Okay,
way.
so if it's just disadvantage on stuff because it's on high alert. Well, if
We're trying to talk ourselves into and out of disadvantage and advantage.
Yeah.
is the clothing of disguised self a good idea?
It's
Help us.
50-50.
It's a 50-50.
I will say,
The perfect GM answer. The perfect GM answer.
me
It's so
above
political.
people, it's probably better than trying to sneak out somebody who is 7 feet tall.
Well,
And
but
bright
that's the whole
green.
thing, because it's like, okay, so guard doesn't know that that's us, but the tower does. They're gonna have their own little fucking.
The scrying eyes don't know that it's us. And there's more than one half orc in the city now. That's definitely apparent, given your family.
Okay, at this
We-
point, Grendel, it would just be happy to play dress up. She's just going to go along with whatever you guys are trying to do, because she is just wanting to get her family out of here.
Player wise, I'm of the mind to just do basic disguises without magic to try and get past this fucking thing, because it sounds like if we step outside of this building with magic active, we're giving a good chance of painting ourselves red.
It's quite literally, are we
Is
more
the-
concerned about guard down the street recognizing us, or literally saying, hey, Skynet, we're here?
Exactly. That's the concern.
I'm trying to find the happy medium between the two, whatever the case may be. I don't want disadvantage on anything ever for any reason.
And that's a good point. Maybe the sewers is the idea.
Victor has left the street.
How big are they?
He said,
You have to realize Grendel's
y'all
gonna
can
have-
do whatever you want. It's not my fault if you get
I mean, we're over here we're battling with a disadvantage and not disadvantage. We got to change our look. We have to change our look, period.
I'm dead.
I would say, as far as like casting for Grendel with the scarf, they would become Grendel's ideal of what
A humanoid would look like,
she would
yeah.
see herself like as a kid, oh, that girl's so pretty, I want to be like her. You'd probably turn into that, like, just out of instinct.
Well, so here's the thing. From what I remember of Disguise Self is that they can only like, when it comes to size, especially, there's only like
Or down a foot.
One
a
foot.
difference between
Up or down a
size,
foot.
whether bigger or larger, or bigger or larger or smaller.
Mhm.
And so I'm thinking Grendel is I would probably say after meeting her actual mother, she probably would think of like a tall, ethereal kind of elven woman, maybe. That, or like someone like Miss Flora, even, because I will say Grendel does look up to Miss Flora quite a bit.
She unconsciously turns into Helene.
No, Helene's super short, and I don't think Grendel could absolutely comprehend the brilliant little blooming shadow that is Helene. and Grendel would never want to put Helene in a certain box. Helene is Helene, and Grendel is not going to try and compartmentalize her as an individual.
We need to get on this card.
Let's focus on
her love.
let's focus on the task at hand, which is figuring out whether or not we're going to take this fucking surface cart. All right.
I think if that's the plan, we should stick with the plan. Let's do the plan.
But how are we going to? Are we going to do it by magical means, or are we going to do by practical means?
Which do you personally want?
I think practical means is better than magical means because
I will give him practical means.
Because
just be aware, if you take the sewers, people don't have to see you to smell you.
This is
which
true,
I
but
understand fully.
I just don't want to. I don't want to wear a big red sign saying, "Hey, I'm casting magic right now."
DM, is that a performance check
for
me? For the disguise kit?
That would be your proficiency plus either your dexterity or intelligence modifier, usually.
I definitely choose dexterity. Fuck's sake. I know I picked up a disguise kit. I do not see it in my bag.
Ooh, shit. Emeralds don't have a disguise kit? Oh, we're fucked.
Well, when you throw my fucking... the pieces of the disguise kit on the ground as you run away. Yeah, no.
Well, we're going to have to wear the big red flags. It sounds like.
Just go out like you're you and pull your fucking hood up. You're fine.
William's version of his hood is taking off his big fucking hat.
There you go.
So is Grendel just now wearing a scarf if no one's going to explain to her how the actual spell works and she's just wearing a scarf?
Wait.
If we're trying not to...
Emerson will be just like,
does not know
think
how
of
to
a person.
I thought we weren't trying to cast spells, though.
No, all right. So, fuck it. I'm going to go with what Godey's gut was, which is fine. Sure, we're doing this. Disguise self, all 9 yards. Godey is still in the back. So, disguise up. Emrys explains to Grendel, and get on the fucking cart.
Yeah, same.
Grendel turns into a tall, buff half-elf and just sits on the cart.
I turn myself into Tom Gillis, and I tell Nina to take the form of his husband.
William turns into Mr. Bean.
Cut the stream right now.
as he rides through the city, as he passes by guards, he just...
Alrighty. Go. I'm not going to give a person. Godey drops a foot and appears human in regular clothes with a hood.
Okay.
I sort of explained to Finn that we're playing a game on the guards, and we want to pretend we're not who we are.
Okay. So I am...
Your name is
Finn.
William.
Willabam.
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 Bam.
So,
We have a plan. Get on the cart.
Yep.
who is going first? Are we going as an entire group?
Should be
I think
as a
get on the
group.
cart as fast as possible.
Okay. Then we will do a group stealth check all together now.
Here we go.
Alrighty.
I'm nervous, guys.
Guidance.
I cast Disguise Self. Do I have disadvantage?
Nobody should
No,
have
if you
disadvantage.
yeah, you've done your disguises or
Okay.
used that, then it is a straight roll.
25 for
Taylor,
What the fuck?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Grendel tried. She tried.
what happened?
Nat 1.
See the log.
What is this? What is this? A stealth check?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, that's not bad.
Why am I not seeing the log of the whole crew?
wait. In all honesty, if we're going in with disguise self anyway, should I just use pass without trace?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Where are you casting it?
Ah, shit.
Before we leave,
Before you leave? Okay.
that would have been what I did, but like literally, like having this moment of, well, we're using spells anyway. I guess already, fine. I would use pass without trace.
Okay.
So that will be an 11 for Grendel, but it's
And that's going to, because I couldn't guidance and pass without trace, that's going to turn Godie into a 21.
21.
That would turn William also into a 21 because I
35.
Fuck you.
11.
Okay, so I need. Let's see.
So William and Godie were
How
the
are
samesies. That's
How
cool.
are we doing the family?
And pass without a trace is a certain amount of people or whoever.
10 foot.
Anybody I
30
want.
foot radius.
Okay.
Anybody I want in a
Good for-
30-foot
yeah.
radius of me.
Good.
Let's
go!
It's level 2.
This is why we love Godie.
I don't even want to know what it rolls.
That was my
I
original
can't-
thing, and then this miasma popped up, and I was like, well, fuck, we can't do that. And then we're
I
using
can't
this guy's
roll
self
for
anyway.
Nina.
Why not? I'll roll for Nina.
I rolled a trip, Luna.
Because Chris has control.
All right. Luna, are you assisting with their. Well, you
I was
probably
going
would
to
be.
say.
Yeah.
Yes. So Luna herself rolled a 26. But also, if you would allow it, since she's not a fugitive, she, if possible, would like to run some interference on the patrols that would be coming in towards a party. For example, if there was a set of 2 or 3, she would go to them to say, "Excuse me, sirs, I think there was reports of a man who was wearing a red coat, much like that," and points to William's beacon down near the
They would begin to divert resources in the direction you have led them, which will add that. There we go.
Fuck. I just
Okay.
realized something.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 people. The party would take this opportunity as a sign. This is the time. This is the moment. The cart's in place. It's stalled for just a moment. Guards have spread out, looking into alleyways and behind things. The sensors continue to move, and at just the right moment when there's a split second where they all turn in the opposite direction. This is the time.
Go, go, go.
Oh boy.
6.
I'm surprised we made it this far.
I mean, there are enough scores above 20 that your natural one is not as impactful.
We still have a pretty decent average.
Yeah.
One by
You just
one,
have to have some faith.
you move. With Godie's pass without a trace, the shadows tend to cling closer to you as you make it to the back of the cart and climb in.
And we are unaccosted or followed.
Seems to be. As for the miasma, if one were to be looking through the scrying eyes, it would be like a glitch in a security camera. A faint blip. But not discernible enough to cause concern. As you all enter the cart, the back comes down. From the inside, you are able to see out in detail. As the guards return to the sides, the driver clicks his teeth and gives the signal to move forward. And you hear, "Hold a moment." Approaching from the front, the two individuals Luna saw before, members of the Silent Covenant. They begin to speak with the driver and the guards, comparing notes, seeing which sectors of the city have been searched, and if any news has come up.
Just whisper to Finn. Shh. We're playing hide and seek.
We can see them. Can they see us?
Hiding.
William's got both hands on the ladies, just keeping an eye out.
Where is Grendel in the cabin at this moment? I will say she probably might be a little bit harder to hide, being at least a minimum of 6 feet tall.
This cart, it would be tight with all of you in there, but you would all fit relatively comfortably. Somewhere for everyone to sit inside the cart.
All right, so Grendel is probably sitting elongated, just curled up, just being like, is everybody else comfortable? And she herself is not comfortable, obviously. But she's
Just scream.
Everyone else is comfortable. And she goes, have we passed the gate yet? I can't tell.
Quiet,
And she's saying
quiet,
very
Grendel. Quiet.
And there's a small kind of knock on the front where the driver sits that comes as you all are trying to maintain that secrecy and that quiet. The guard on the right, these individuals that are dressed differently, more like operatives. William, the guard on the right takes off their helm to wipe for a moment. They have a covering on the head, and as they bring the mask down and pull it back, a familiar face. But it can't be. The similarities are so close. But you know faces, and you know how to read people. This isn't Xenia. But there is undoubtedly a connection. Before he finishes, all right, let's head to Sector 3. And they begin to move away from the cart, walking. You think we'll find him? It is hard to say. There is a lot of ground to cover.
Just put a hand on William's shoulder.
Anybody with a any percentage of a insight passive above like 12, William is seething. As soon as he sees this individual that that bears the similarities of Xenia, he's teetering. And Emrys, as you place your hand on him to ground him, you will take notice that his barrel's pointed right at the base of the skull of this individual.
As you go to point it, I squeeze the shoulder.
And you can hear him.
He had to protect.
You can hear his breath shaking. He's tormented. He's conflicted. But you do watch as he is regrounded for a moment, and his tension releases for just long enough for the group to get past this sentry.
He just pats his shoulder twice. Good man.
The cart jostles forward, moving slowly through the city, making stops here and there. First stop. Second. Third. It would seem you're going in circles, and yet in the opposite direction of where you think you should be going to exit the city, almost further in to the nest rather than out of it, until you come to Godi, a recognizable second location where it is necessary to move from one to the next. Your window shorter than the last. And ever so precise.
How long were we traveling?
A good 10 minutes, 15.
Okay. Pass Without Trace is still up.
Good. Are we rolling new stealth check?
If making the move to the next cart.
Same setup, urging William to take point. Cody will anchor.
Mm-hmm.
So we're rolling a stealth check?
Yes, brand new one.
Okay.
William will do so.
Are better.
Oh, Emrys rolled bad. 27.
So you still have the Pass Without Trace, so remember your plus 10.
27 is my with the plus 10.
I had an 11 for Grendel, and that's better than last time. It's the double
21.
this time.
Oh, okay, 21 for you then, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, because you got an 11 last time, technically.
Well, yeah, because I rolled in that one. So, yeah. So, yeah.
I was
so
making sure you didn't
forgot we
nat one
had
again.
So, yeah, 21.
I rolled a 2 for a plus 5 for a total of 17. William's a little jostled right now.
I don't know why
That was a
I'm
plus 10 for
not
Pass Without
seeing
Trace.
anyone else's roll.
Yes. His natural bonus is
Strange.
plus 5.
Okay, Tarzan said plus. Oh, okay, all right.
I only got a plus 10 from Godi, which made mine a 17.
Because you can trust Cody. Me just staring hard body into the camera.
I can't wait to tear Trevor's head off from his shoulders.
Well, one step at a time. We have to make sure our own heads don't get torn off.
This
Don't
bitch,
deprive Grendel of revenge.
this bitch just turned my bestest boy into a fucking clone for his army. I'm going to fucking murder him.
Or are you hallucinating, homie?
Either way,
What were you
I'm
drinking? Absinthe?
probably.
No.
Did Emrys see him too?
I think you have a
Like,
better
if we're
perception than
looking
I
out of
do.
This cart, and yeah,
Yeah, we already established I have a passive perception of 19, so if I did not see Xenia, Xenia is not here.
he be typing, y'all.
All the backtracking. I like it.
It's the spelled stuff that gets pinged out.
Casting
Not
while you're in the fog, yeah.
Casting in
actually
general.
casting it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything above a cantrip.
Anything above a cantrip. Okay.
11, 17, 27. Okay.
He's muttering that.
He's doing
All
math.
our stealths. Getting the
Doing math.
average.
Don't say the number. Don't say
They're
numbers.
looking at 21 though, not on 11.
No, don't say numbers.
And if Luna may assist, if you guys are moving to move from one cart to the next, she, from a position in the rooftops, is going to use her mage hand towards one of the sort of, you know how in alleys behind businesses you get these crates piled up in old barrels? She's essentially using her mage hand to like knock the top one over to create a commotion in an alley that will distract any approaching guards long enough to give you guys a few seconds notice.
Okay.
Gotta love Luna. Yeah. Alley cat with a fucking attitude. Love it.
Wow, the cat knocked something off of a high place.
I know. That's what I love most about her. I wasn't gonna
It's
say
like
it.
we're
I just
already
wanted to say
in Tarzan's campaign.
it.
Foreshadowing for what's to come on To Be Diced Adventures.
Goaty has a fresh glass of wine, and Luna just.
Not the wine.
The two carts come close together as the drivers exchange information of the various happenings of the evening. This is your moment, your time to switch from one to the other. There is some noise and a small hesitation as one of the sensors turns for a moment, but you catch the gaze and hold for a moment until it's safe to move again. You've successfully transitioned over to the other cart. Very similar to the last one, it moves and meanders through the city. However, now it seems to be going in a different direction. You see fewer guards, although their presence still wander the streets, moving to the lower and outer rings where farmers and lower residents almost verging on the slums. However, Grand Soren boasts some of the highest quality of living, so slums are difficult to find. However, the houses become tighter, the alleyways narrower. And the breaks in line of sight with the sensors becomes more frequent, giving you more mobility through the streets rather than the cart. It is here that you move from the cart to the streets. Goaty following the path set before you from Katie. Past a certain pile of rubble, some boards and barrels, to a tent of a previously seen ally. The individual no longer there, as the citizens have been required to enter their homes. However, this is the place. You take one more look, and as the sensor turns, that is your chance. I need one final stealth check from all of you.
How long has it been total since we left the tavern?
I'd say about 30 minutes.
We still have Pass Without Trace. Oh, put that down. We don't have guidance. We have Pass Without Trace. Come on.
Remember to add 10 to your roll. Solid fucking stealth checks, y'all.
We
Yeah,
figured
no,
it out,
we keep it
guys.
fucking clutch here. God damn.
We figured it out,
Oh,
guys.
shit.
I bet this is the one that
Sneaky, y'all.
this
I
is
had
the
to
one where Chris is going to be like the DC was 25.
I had to switch from my my Calibrand dice. That he wasn't doing me too many favors today.
Can you say that again?
What?
Can you say that again? All right, 22 hours, 22 minutes in. Clip it for blackmail on William.
Leaving the
Don't
tavern.
forget the burn compilation right at the start.
Yeah, we need all sorts of things. Leaving the tavern initially, there was a lot of nerves, a lot riding on this one movement, a lot of trusting that things will be there at the right time, and moving into those things, trusting that. By now, you've learned to work together. You have a rhythm of moving around the city, recognizing the sensors, figuring out their patterns, making sure to keep Finn from giggling too much because this is fun. And now you move through the front of the tent, into the alleyway behind it. It's narrow, single file. And as the sensor turns, a breeze goes through, moving leaves and hanging tapestries in the streets. And that covers the exit as the flap of the tent closes. It's as if the wind had moved it. You move through, you see the meat stand, and you pass in. What is waiting for them in this safe house, Victor?
The safe house that you enter looks like a merchant warehouse. It just looks like there are a lot of crates. There are some silk fabrics hanging. So there are certain spaces that seem to be somewhat more secluded than others in this space. The space is deliberately meant to look like it's a warehouse, but also the way that it's been arranged. It's arranged so that if at any point someone within would need to use the space for their advantage against someone coming in, they would have the opportunity of concealing themselves. Cody, I believe once upon a time there was a symbol on a crate that you were made privy of.
There was a symbol on an apple that I was given when I was in jail.
That indeed, that symbol as well. You will notice that in some of the crates that seem to be sort of like covered with other crates, with your perception, you will notice that some of those crates have that symbol. very gracefully added. And within those crates, there would be some level of supplies for the party. Chris, I'll let you be the judge of like how much or how many things would they be able to find. These would be resources like healing potions, potential like disguise kits, scrolls and parchments that actually have uh, falsified documents of free passage, um, and other materials and things that could potentially be materials for casting spells or any other particular thing that a safe house for people that need to be on the move, on the go, hiding their identity, recovering, or on the run would be able to do. Um, it would be limited. Like most of the crates are not that. Most of the crates are goods, particularly clothing and fabrics and silks. But the crates that you see with those things, there would be available. And then you would also notice there would be some poorly concealed. I don't know if you would notice them, but this safe house also is protected from magics from outside.
You guys are all good, mate, but you think you could get your hands on my old uniform?
The one that's really smelly?
My old uniform.
You have an older uniform than the red jacket you usually wear?
Your uniform from your Sovereign Navy days?
Yes.
What the hell would you need that for?
It has its uses. It's in the It's in the closet. I can hold to stay. Speak with Morgan. She'll be able to direct you to it.
Well, you're going to be with us, right, William?
Yes.
Insight check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grendel doesn't know better.
Is he shitting us?
William, what's his deception at? Let's see. Yeah.
Oh my god, I rolled a natural 20.
Yeah. I mean, you get a sense he doesn't have a plan for it yet, but he does. He's currently shopping an idea with that goes along the lines of working with the established sovereign navy. But he doesn't know how. He doesn't have a leg into it. He's taking preparation steps in case he does come up with a plan that could work. But for the time being, he just wants his uniform.
Grendel does not understand any of this past the fact that
this is just what Emerus is picking up. He's picking up on William. He knows that William has an idea, but he doesn't have a plan. Would be the basic gist of the.
This is how all of your plans go. There's an idea, but not a fully formed plan.
You don't see me acting on it just yet, do you? It's just me making preparations, mate.
Oh, preparations are actions.
Preparations are preparations. Actions are different.
Can we get his...
I just want KD or whoever you are, if you can get your hands on my fucking old uniform, that'd be great.
I'm not there.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
The safe house is here. KD is in here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no. This safe house is empty right now.
Okay. Would Luna still be there?
Mm-hmm.
I think that this question would probably be directed to Luna then. As very reserved as it would be.
What's the question? Also, Luna is absolutely going through all of your cabinets just out of curiosity.
I
Jody
fucking
is
hate-
also rating a few things here, just as a little thing, so I don't take away from what's inevitably going to be a fantastic exchange between William and Luna. Jody's going to make sure that all of the families are safe, comfortable, and everything like that. And then he's going to raid the safe house for anything that he believes is going to be useful for the coming trip.
Grendel would probably be
Victor, I
following.
would like a list.
She would also be checking on the family and then going with Godi. She isn't very good at looking for things, but she will pretty much be following Godi because currently, right now, he's the safest person that she feels that she can hang out with because William has been shit-faced.
Then you would help Godi as he's like kind of going through, like looking at the potions, looking at if there's like any sort of like mundane equipment around, anything like that. When he starts going through like spell components, he's like finding little vials of like oils and unguents and things like that, and stuff. And honestly, at that point, he'd start asking your opinion on like for the oils and stuff, scents and things like that.
Emrys is just trying to find more for Emrys, or for
We can handle that behind the scenes though.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I will say just for DM, if there's any familiar sense that Grendel has with these things that Godi is going through, let me know.
There would be a variety of things through there. There would be a like a familiar flower that smells of lavender, or not lavender, like a mix of jasmine and vanilla together. There would be orange blossom and pear. There would be different citrus oils in there as well. Some incredibly high quality things from gardens that are well tended. Most likely either from the apothecary or some alchemical shop that has gardens in the middle and upper rings of the city.
anything poisonous.
Are you about to ask if KD has poison?
Nothing poisonous in this particular warehouse.
If I may,
Mhm.
the tunnel that exists underneath, there would be the things that you may be able potentially finding crates underneath would potentially be higher tier than the things you would find above.
And I will say, just with Grendel going through and smelling all these different oils that Godi is presenting to her, Grendel is welling up with tears, just remembering going into Helene's apothecary and just being able to smell all these different aromas. It's something that is so familiar but seems so foreign to her that she doesn't quite understand them, but and what they can do. But for her, it felt like home, and it's home that she misses, which is Helene. And so Grendel would probably be getting very emotional, just having these olfactory senses just hitting her fucking noggin the way that it is.
Smash. Smash. I think it would probably be at this point where William would approach Luna. Just kind of watching over her shoulder as she's going through the warehouse to resupply herself. Very much reserved in his own right. But he calls out to Luna. All right, pretender. Mind doing it? Said, all right, pretender. Mind doing a pirate a favor?
A favor for a pirate. For what cost of a pirate?
I need my old uniform.
That old thing. Not too difficult.
You just need
But
to speak
why?
with. I don't have a full plan yet, but I am working something. But it does require my uniform. You can get your hands on it and bring it back here. You can consider it a favor owed. And we can squash this. I will consider my disdain for your kind abolished for the time being.
Your disdain for my people and my kind will remain unless you choose to see past it yourself. You don't need to force it. I care little for that. You have your own opinions. Would it suit your purposes more if the uniform was new or old? These are specifics.
I would prefer my old uniform. It will still fit me, as far as I'm aware. Morgan will know where it's kept.
The
I'll show
home
you.
in which you last occupied?
Yes.
Or
Make
that
sure
could be-
that when you approach her, make sure that it's not Trevor. What's his name again? Fuck. Shit. The guy that married my goddamn wife. What was his name? Nathan. Nathan. No.
No, it's Travis Hornigold.
Travis. Make sure Travis there's no one in sight before you approach the house. He's part of the Midnight Court.
Is it worth Is it worth alerting her to the presence of one who wishes to recover your effects? Or could one just enter, find it, and exit without notifying them?
If you can do it on your own, then by all means. The more she's in the dark, the better, but if you need help finding it.
Mm.
Yes, please keep her in the dark. If you can.
Very well. I will endeavor to achieve this favor. Should anything impair me, for example, perhaps she has burned it on a pyre, I don't know on what terms you left off, then we will find alternatives. But until then, we can search.
A favor paid, a favor owed. Thank you.
One thing, I thought there was 2 more of your cohort.
What of it?
Nothing, I expected more. Luna doesn't know. Luna wasn't there.
Yeah. What? You would have immediately picked up a immediate barrier was thrown up as soon as you mentioned that William's missing 2 party members. Immediate barrier.
I suppose I would not begrudge them if they sought home instead of forward. rejoin their family, perhaps. I saw one that resembled your little half-orc. Anyways, she will resume combing through the cupboards.
William just goes off and picks a spot where he can maintain overwatch of the safe house. Keep an eye on the perimeter. Make sure we're not being caught off guard.
Looking around, you find what you need from the crates. Cody, as you are investigating, give me 1 second. You find
Chris, if it has to do with what I'm investigating, quiet.
you find a place in this warehouse
Okay.
that was sent to you in one of the images. The final move towards the underground. You know the spot. Should you need to exit, this is the next path that has been prepared for you by this network. So far, things have gone very well. So my question is, do you continue moving through the night? Or do you take a moment?
I would Cody's opinion is that we should rest because it's been a really long fucking day and our rest was interrupted. But even still, he would double check with William. Just to get his idea on it. Not knowing that William just sent Luna on an errand, so I'm going to guess William wants to stay put for now.
Might I step in and ask, since Grendel has
No.
been spending time with Gody, can Grendel tell that Gody is starting to deteriorate, just like he is in need of rest? Is there any sort of, like, how good is Gody at covering up the fact that he needs to go nappy buys?
Let's find out. We are not proficient in deception. We are going to make this a constitution-based deception check.
Cody doesn't need sleep or food or drink anymore. He has ascended to the point where he is above such things.
You're not
absolutely
right. You're just dehydrated.
You are absolutely right. That is precisely what happens. At least that's what he believes, as he has a total of 5 to maintain his composure.
Oh, okay. So I will say, like, with Grendel spending time with Gody and realizing that he is not doing well, and Grendel being able to get a good night's sleep, she's going to negotiate. She goes, Mr. Goldie, you've done a lot for us right now, and you definitely seem a little bit tired. And my papa always told me, if we want to make sure that things are done properly, we need to make sure we are well rested and well ready for what is to come for tomorrow. So I insist that I will take care of anything that you need me to take care of, and you need to go and lay down. Do you understand me? We are at a place where we can have a good night's rest. There's a bed. Go sleep
Cody
on the
hugs
bed.
Grendel.
I think that conversation would have caught William's attention too, and be like,
I have to ask, Chris, does this hug also awaken any friendship memories?
The brain.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was another time, perhaps, that Godey hugged Grendel.
Maybe?
It might have
It was-
been when
back in the tavern, Millie's tavern too.
it might have been when Grendel like was just. But the thing is that I think like the time that they like Godey first hugged Grendel, I think was after Godey came back. Because both Godey
Yeah.
and Grendel,
I was thinking of something
I
earlier,
feel
like around where Phase kind of.
I feel like the closest thing to it would probably be when Godey grabbed Grendel to make sure that he took the fucking front of the attack.
We did.
Yeah.
We did do that.
Yeah. So
we
would
did
you
that primary.
like would you consider that like
Yeah. So previously, that memory was there was something there, and I would say with this, that memory clarifies to have Godey standing in front of you taking the breath attack.
Smash.
Grendel immediately, like as Godey hugs her, knowing that like even subconsciously in a way, she knows that this is not really Godey's thing. Godey has never been a very physical individual. And she immediately just like hugs Godey around the back of the shoulders and she goes, and like these flashes of remembering Godey coming in front of her and just embracing her to protect her from whatever cold damage was incoming. Grendel just kind of sits there and she hugs him back for a moment and then she just goes, I remember. And she kind of pulls away and she looks at Godey as her hands are just kind of set on his shoulders. And she kind of tilts her head a little bit and she goes, Back in the cavern, you were the one who protected me. I thought it was just some miracle that happened, but no, it wasn't a miracle. It was you. You protected me.
This is true. I am not a miracle.
Grendel just laughs hysterically as she looks at Godey and she goes, What do you mean you're not a miracle? You are my friend. You are a miracle that has come to me and has been there to help me and protect me and help me in any way that I possibly can. Just like William, even though he's kind of smelly, but he's still a miracle. Just like Luna and Amris and then you kind of watch as she just starts kind of crying and she goes, and Xenia.
Before knowing that was coming, he just kind of brings her gaze back to him and just says, Thank you for always protecting me and everyone else here as well.
Grendel just kind of she looks at him confused because she goes, Am I still the same person protecting the people that they cared about?
Absolutely. Not a doubt in my mind.
It doesn't feel like that sometimes.
It will. I have what I need before taking this rest. Thank you, Grendel. You should also get some rest.
Oh, I'm good as gold. I will take the first rest. You need to make sure that you get yourself some good sleeps. So I will stay up and I will take first watch. It is my job. Who wants to do it with me? Luna, KD, William, Emrys. Who wants to take first watch with me?
I mean, William's been on watch and kind of just gives you.
Shh. Okay, William.
Yes, Goldie would have turned the volume down, just like, it's easy. KD is not here.
Thaumaturgy.
Oh no, sorry, I
think-
forgot KD was not there. I do apologize.
that's fine.
Retcon KD.
No, fuck it, leave it there. And then saying, I do believe that Luna has left, although she could be here somewhere. I don't know for sure.
Did we lose you?
I'll take first watch with you, Grendel.
Really, Emrys? Okay, that will be fantastic because I'm feeling like I got like a good amount of beauty sleep before we had to go and stuff into that stuffy little carriage. And don't get me wrong, like it's definitely like uncomfortable, but I feel really good right now. And I can also kind of see that both Goldie and William definitely need to take some nappy buys. William especially, like William, why do you reek of alcohol?
Oh, sorry, I just am catching up on the past private chat. Oh, what?
I'm sorry. Is it very
William-
obvious that William reeks of alcohol? Like,
I mean, it's been apparent throughout this entire journey, but William has since we've arrived at the safe house, wandered off to a more private area to maintain vigilance. Although he is looking around for something specific while he's in this place. That being scissors.
Okay, well,
or shears.
If William's not there, then we'll just retcon. Like Grendel doesn't even acknowledge William. She knows that he's either going to be dead or he's going to come back. So that's usually how it goes.
So fucking dark.
I don't mean to be so cruel, but am I wrong?
But
Inevitably, he'll
yeah.
be dead when he comes back.
Chris, may I?
I'm assuming that's a yes.
So yeah, I'm just gonna say your mic is off, but I'm assuming that's it.
You may, yes, sorry.
So during all this time, because KD's focus was having the Paragon moving faster, getting through, being out of the reach of the city, they managed to get themselves away before the miasma kicked in. Once they were outside the city, they were able to cast Unfamiliar, casting an owl, sending the owl out back into the city to keep eye on things. And at one point, they receive information from an armored individual that is part of their collision to let them know that a figure apparently stopped and walked by the tavern. And the figure seemed to be not particularly human looking, but rather something else. And so KD sends the owl to try to find out what this thing is. Godi, you get another message. The message in your mind first, the first thing is go now with incredible urgency before a flash of an image comes to your mind where you are seeing the city from above as you're slowly moving in flight. And what you spot following the exact tracks of your trajectory with the carriages and into the slums is what seems to be a smaller version of the incinerator. And this thing is getting close.
William, go ahead and roll me an investigation check, please. Can't hear you, bud.
I realized I didn't have a single superiority die left in my name, and I rolled a 16 for a +5 for 20 fucking one. So I was saying, thank the gods, or thank Calibrand in this moment,
Why he ain't here?
because he gives me the +5 or the +7.
What's your
He gives me
passive
my
perception?
William needs
17.
to just be happy with his own accomplishments instead of blaming
So
Calibrand.
while Calibrand and I are together, I have a +7 to my perception. While Calibrand is separated from me, I have a +5. Thank you, Calibrand, for that +7 to my perception check. Oh, that's even higher. Never mind. 16 plus 7. 23. Even higher. Thank you, Calibrand.
You have this idea in your head. You need scissors or shears. You look around this warehouse and you find them. On the far wall, you find a pair. A little dull, perhaps a little chipped or rusted, probably used on a sheep of some sort, shearing.
Mm-hmm.
Through the gaps in the wood panels of this building, you hear the clanking of heavy metal armor. And a breathing like a furnace. You look through a crack and you see low ember burn through the face slats of the helm as it turns and makes eye contact with you.
Oh, fuck.
Turning its body in that direction, reaching its hand out as an obsidian blade forms from mist and smoke and ignites.
Thanks. Two things are going to happen in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Goaty, take everyone in, run. Second thing, Misty Step. I don't care where it takes me as long as it gets me closer to this fucking thing.
And that's where we're going to end our session tonight.
You fuck.
I'm sorry, but no, you guys are not taking this. I'll take the fucking burden. I don't care. Fucking
You always do.
You motherfucker! You motherfucker!
That's going to be our session.
I was spotted. I'm sorry, guys.
You have to realize the pattern of every time you do this, we rush in to cover your ass.
Yes, and then we end up, and then people
And then we end up almost dead.
fighting.
Don't do that. Just run.
We're not gonna not do it.
Make
Bye, guys.
Make
We're gonna
an
fucking
insight
run.
check for me off this. But insight check, William.
Okay.
yeah.
That might change. Okay, that might change things. Okay.
We'll see you next time on Tales of Vardin and Two
Okay.
Days. We've got more shows coming out this week,
Ooh.
so check into those. We'll see you. Have a great night.
Bye, guys.
I'm gonna cry.